Well, this is a heck of a way to start the final show before Christmas break. First, our co-host is missing, then the Ustream freaks out, and turns out we have some of the biggest news to deliver to everybody, despite the fact that the co-host is not here. Oh, well, so we gotta press onward, because we've got quite a bit we wanted to cover today. Well, I wanted to cover at least. Anyways, let us begin. First of all, there's been a huge upset in the world of Formula 1. Now, yes, the season is over, and that is why we did not play the awesome theme tune. But turns out that the man whom we blew vuvuzelas for on this program when he became world champion, he's retiring. Yes, that's right. Nico Rosberg is retiring after one world championship victory. In a statement that he released on Twitter, "Since 25 years in racing, it has been my dream, my one thing, to become Formula 1 world champion. Through the hard work, the pain, the sacrifices, this has been my target, and now I've made it. I have climbed the mountain. I am on the peak, so this feels right. My strongest emotion right now is deep gratitude to everybody who supported me and to make that dream happen. It's been very tough because the last 2 years losing to Lewis were extremely difficult moments for me, which fueled my motivation in a way that I didn't even know was possible to fight back and achieve my dream finally. This year was extremely tough because I put absolutely everything into it. Damn right you did." Oh boy. You know what, I can kind of understand. I mean, if he had to go through all that suffering for one championship title against the prima donna Lewis Hamilton, whom Jackie Stewart, the great Jackie Stewart from the 60s and 70s, has declared is, quote, a little ballerina, I'd say, you know what, I am finished as well. You know, after, I mean, he did his duty, he decided to, well, like I said, it has been a long road to bring about the Icarus flight for Lewis Hamilton and to deflate that massive ego. So I agree. Nico, you've done us all a valuable service, bringing the great ego down to earth. We salute you. And I haven't got my vuvuzelas, or else I would give a final heroic noise. So that means that the pit is now open. We still do not know who will take his seat. It is a great mystery. Now, Max Verstappen of Red Bull has been floated. The idea of him going to Mercedes has been floated. Oh, that will drive Lewis Hamilton absolutely insane. Losing out to a kid. Well, unfortunately, it turns out Red Bull have decided they are not going to let Max go. I bet they're giving him a really cushy payroll. And, of course, they're probably going to do everything they can to make sure that his contract termination fee is hugely exorbitant. So therefore, Max Verstappen is, for the most part, staying here. However, one idea has been floated by Toto Wolff in a statement to Sky Sports. Apparently, Fernando Alonso is a possibility, but no, that cannot be correct, because, as we've learned from history, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton despise each other. Absolutely despise each other. Well, let me remind you, I forget what Grand Prix it was, but the two of them, Alonso and Hamilton, were both driving at McLaren. And so Fernando Alonso came into the pits, they put him in the box, tires on, tires off, a perfect pit stop, but Alonso was not going anywhere, because he knew that Lewis Hamilton was riding right behind him in the pit box. So therefore, Fernando Alonso stayed in the pit box for a few seconds longer than necessary just to toy with Lewis Hamilton. Oh, that is just low. I mean, well, I don't know, but maybe Toto Wolff feels that his two drivers had collided with each other multiple times, and one of them resulted in both cars not finishing the race. Perhaps he decided, you know what, it can only go uphill from here. So maybe we will see a Hamilton and Alonso lineup, in which case, oh god, sparks will fly, heads will roll, and lots of crap will be flung around in the pits. Oh my. But moving right along, we have another piece of news. Apparently, for the 2018 Grand Prix, so not the next World Championship, not the next one, the one after, we will see a return to France. And, yeah, well, according to Jalopnik, for what will be the first time in 10 years by the time the race rolls around, various reports say Formula 1 will return to France in 2018. French media first reported a 5-year deal for a revived French Grand Prix, and according to reports, an announcement of the return to France will come on Monday. So So therefore, the reports that the BBC Sports report that the race will return to a track that last hosted Formula One in 1990, the Circuit Paul Ricard near the French city of Marseille. The circuit was a test track closed to spectators for 10 years, reopening to the public in 2009. According to BBC Sport, F1 CEO Bernie Ecclestone said he believes the race will materialize and will have a spot on the schedule in late July. Oh, yes, we can only hope. More European Grand Prix, but if there's anything that those football riots in Marseille have shown over the past months, it is fandom can be very, very vicious. And my last news story before we get into the show proper, apparently the World Endurance Championship has moved its preseason test for a very, very special person. They've pushed their first week of testing back a week. Now, this is the World Endurance Championship, where all the cars that will be participating in the 24 Hours of Le Mans will be testing their vehicles. Apparently, they pushed the test week back a week to accommodate the Pope. Yeah, so they've decided that because being as how the where are they going to be in Monza? Yes, the Pope will be visiting Monza during the original test date. So he'll be visiting from March 24th to 25th. And the World Endurance Championship decided that, you know what, it was unfair to race fans, so they pushed it back so there can be more hotels available. But here's the thing. They should have kept it where it is. They should have given the Pope a ride in the Porsche 919 across that track. You know, give him the thrill of his life. He's a pretty chill Pope. The man used to drive a Harley back in when he was before he was Pope. Or, better yet, what they should have done was have a pre-test parade. All the cars will be parading around the track with the Pope-mobile at the head. Kind of adds a new meaning to the term Godspeed, am I right? So, anyway, that is it for the news. Now, let us get into what the show is really about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, Christmas is coming. Next week will be exam week. We will be off the air. And then the week after that will be the first week off and Christmas. Now, as you are all enjoying your presents and your family and your Christmas turkey or whatever it is you are eating, and who has the audacity to finally show up? He is finally here.
Yes.
Anyways, we have a quick little briefing we have to do, so I'm just going to, for a little while, play a bit of a Turn Loose the Mermaids.
Graveyard grey at the end of the line, far, far away. A child holding on to the magic of birth and all. Just you and me, far beyond the sea. The water scarce in motion, quivering as steel. At the end of the river, the sundown beams. All the relics of a life long lived. Here, weary traveler, rest your one sleep. The journey from your eyes.
Okay, our man has finally been briefed. How are you?
I've been briefed. I'm wonderful. How are you, Peter?
Well, you obviously shocked when I told him during the quick break that Nico Rosberg decided to retire.
What?
Yes, that was his reaction.
It was a little bit more extreme, but
it wasn't.
I tried to imitate it. I can't.
Anyway, so let us resume. Now, as you know, Christmas break's coming up.
Yes.
And as you are enjoying your turkey, do you eat turkey during Christmas break?
I don't really like turkey, so I don't personally.
So anyways, as you are all enjoying your food, some of the bravest men and women will be going to South America.
This is so cool.
They will be preparing for what is quite possibly the most amazing motor race in the world. Now, yes, I do call Formula One the greatest, and I call Le Mans the most extreme, but this, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing else like it. Hundreds of men and women and their fantastic machines are going to South America, and they are going to race themselves for the most grueling 2 weeks imaginable. This is the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure which anyone can embark. I speak, of course, of the Dakar Rally. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Dakar Rally first started in 1979 when a French motorcyclist got lost in North Africa and had the idea that perhaps the best thing to do is to have the greatest motor race on earth. They raced from it used to be they would race from Paris, and then they would go across Europe, catch a ferry into North Africa, and race to Dakar. And then, of course, they decided to extend it even further, going all the way down. But now it is held in South America, but trust me, it is still as grueling as ever. This is not a journey for the light of heart.
My car could make it, right?
I doubt it. Not very few can survive it. Like I said, there are hundreds, but at least half the field drop off. Steel your souls, ladies and gentlemen, because your body belongs to the Dakar. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough drama for the evening.
It's so dramatic, though. It really got me, like, in the mood.
Indeed.
For this rally.
So, ladies and
tell me about it. Just tell everyone about it.
Alright, so like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge event. You will have hundreds of cars, hundreds of at least 200 bikes. You have 80 quads and some of the biggest, baddest trucks imaginable. Not monster trucks, because those things are just compensators. These are proper competitive vehicles.
Very good.
Now, let us take a look at the route. So, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, now, as I said, even though they call it the Dakar, it is the spirit of it that counts, because what happened was in 2005, I believe, they canceled at the last minute because terrorist threats were getting too bad and they were losing too many drivers to bandits. But they moved it to South America, and it has been just as successful. It is huge. So let us take a look at this great 2-week journey. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to start in the city of Asuncion in Paraguay. And they are going to go northward into Bolivia and then all the way down to Argentina. So day 1, they will start in the city of Asuncion, and then they will drive 450 kilometers with a special stage of totaling to 39 kilometers, and then a transport stage of 415 as they will go to Resistencia. Day 2, they will start out from Resistencia, and they will travel 812 kilometers at 280 meters above sea level as they go to San Miguel de Tucumán. So that means they are traveling westward. And now they begin to crawl the north up. They go from San Miguel over the mountains at an altitude of 4,000 meters, traveling 780 kilometers as they make it down to Salvador de Jujuy. I have no idea how to pronounce it. South American.
That's okay.
Day 4, 521 kilometers over the mountains at an altitude of 412 meters. And this is a very long special stage of 416 kilometers as they go to Tupizia. And of course, they now cross into Bolivia. Day 5, 629 kilometers, a special stage of, hang on, how long is the special here? 448 kilometers long and an altitude of 4,100 kilometers as they go up to Oruro. And then on day 6, they go from Oruro all the way to La Paz. They work their way around the lake, and now they make it to La Paz in Bolivia at an end of 786 kilometers. Day 7 is the day of rest.
Thank goodness, after all those days.
And then day 8, they begin to swing down south. They will go from La Paz, covering 620 kilometers all the way to Uyuni. I have no idea how to pronounce these places, and that's a 322 kilometer special stage. So that is grueling. Day 9, from Uyuni to Salta in Argentina, 892 kilometers at an altitude of 4,500 feet. And like I said, this is just grueling. Day 10, they make it out onto the salt flats. Well, it gets flatter, and they're working their way through razor-sharp canyons as they go from Salta to Chalaquito. That's 977 kilometers for the day at an altitude of 3,000 meters. Day 11, they go from Chalaquito to San Juan as the miles start to count down. 751 kilometers, 339 meters altitude. So like I said, these people are just raring it. They are tearing it, going absolutely magnificent distances. And then from San Juan to Rio Cuarto on day 11. And that is 750 kilometers at an altitude of as they come back down to sea level at 1,500 meters. Day 13, they go from Rio Cuarto to Buenos Aires, the final stretch, a mere 64 kilometer special stage for a total of 786 kilometers at an altitude of 500 feet. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Dakar.
That's crazy. So what kind of vehicles do they have? Are they all bikes or?
Bikes, cars. It is a great festival. I mean,
anything you can bring?
Well, actually, strictly speaking, the vast majority of the competitors in the Dakar are amateurs. All you need is the money, the lack of self-preservation, and you are in.
Oh,
The vast majority of
Have one of
amateurs
those.
in this event are bikers. Probably because, all you need to do is buy the bike, get your gear, maybe get some some sponsorship to help alleviate the cost, and then, of course, you have to live out of a metal crate. What happens is, as the cars are doing these magnificent distances, there's a huge mobile city of trucks and other vehicles called the bivouac, and they are made, and assuming you even have the time, you can do some maintenance at the bivouac. And if you are an amateur, basically what happens is you put anything you can fit in a metal crate, you can take with you. Then it will go on a plane, and it will be there in the bivouac if you get to the other end. People, I will be blunt. People do die during this event.
wow.
This is not for the faint of heart. This is absolutely grueling. So let us start off with some highlights from the bikers. Now, the bikes are very, very specialist vehicles. These are big, heavy bikes. These are not these things that you use on BMX or your sport bikes. Like, these are proper adventure bikes. 2 fuel tanks, 450 cc's, and these guys are going at least 100 miles per hour if they're on steady road. And here's the thing about the bikers. They have to do their own navigation.
Oh, wow.
And their navigation comprises of just a scroll and a simple coordinate GPS system. And of course, they're out there, they have to work together. Like, there are sometimes they will tow each other. In fact, oh dear, and when they get to higher altitude, sometimes the strain just gets too severe. And like I said, they are out here 500 kilometers a day. If they drop it, they gotta get back up, or they are stranded. Though there is a medical helicopter that can come to pick them up. And of course, they're negotiating all kinds of terrain. They're negotiating dirt tracks. They are, oh dear, we just had a wipeout on our preview screen. Wow. But the man gets back up.
Still impressive. Wow.
Yeah, no, these guys are tough. Really, really tough.
And this is no simple terrain. There's a lot of changes all over the place.
Exactly. And like I said, they have to do their own navigation as well. So I think, let us take a look at something that the Los Angeles Times did. This man tells us everything we need to know about Dakar bikes.
The Dakar Rally is one of the most dangerous races in the world. On a motorcycle, it's even more so. Recently, I had a chance to ride a Dakar-style bike in the Mojave Desert with some of the American competitors in this year's race. I got a real sense of the difficulty involved. And the danger. The bikes are highly specialized 450cc machines.
So you just had a quick look at the scroll there, which is literally just a scroll with the little directions.
A motorcycle that's going to challenge the Dakar Rally, and even if you don't know anything about bikes at all, you can see this is no ordinary machine. The first and most obvious thing is this navigation stack at the front of the bike. This is a system that is designed to, first of all...
So like I said, what they have to navigate is a paper scroll with distance kilometers, a little bit of a pictograph, and a little instruction, and then they have just a simple coordinate system, altitude, longitude, latitude, and a compass. That's it. That's
And
all
this
it's got.
scroll is just stretched across the front of their bike. It's crazy.
And it's on an electric rotor.
And more strength, and it's got a longer swing arm than most motorcycles. You want to be able to go very fast over uncertain terrain in a very straight line without too much effort. There are requirements that are set up by the Dakar Rally organizers that have safety in mind, among other things. For one thing, you have to carry a lot of water. So the riders will all carry a Camelback or some other...
Well, you don't need to get into detail. Like I said, they carry a lot of water. They got survival equipment. These guys are out there. I mean, it's kind of ludicrous. So here is the lineup that we have. A lot of the great people are making their returns. We've got Toby Price from Australia driving for KTM. We've got Kevin Benavides, Helder Rodriguez, and a few other people I don't quite know. Who else is there? No, actually, know what? The bike class. Oh, we have some good news. For the ladies in the bike class driving for KTM is Spain's very own Laia Sanz. We like her. She's tough.
Is she tough?
Yes, she is.
Good.
You know, she's one of the few ladies out there, but my God, she can ride. So hopefully we will see some good performance from her. And and we also have from Spain Rosa Romero Font driving for KTM in the class. So if we go all the way to the bottom of the list, how many bikers are there? 168 bikes total.
And how many usually end up making it through to the end?
Maybe usually half.
Wow.
Indeed. Now let us get to the next group, the cars. Now these cars are purpose-built vehicles.
Like
most
my
of
car.
them. Oh,
Looks just like
please.
it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the car class is the one we want to watch because this is some great, great drama. So first of all, this year Peugeot is going to hopefully make a return. Well, actually, no, last year was in the hands of a very special person who we will get into detail. But let's just be clear on this. These cars they're not that big, actually. They're four-wheel drive. They're very robust. They look like pugs, if you think about it. You know,
Absolutely look like pugs.
Well, they got that
short face.
Yeah, short. They got that square bulldog thing. Now, unlike the bikes, you have a navigator. You know, you have a driver, you have a navigator, and if the vehicle breaks down, he can help you dig it out or get going. But he will help with the navigation. So it is a team effort here. And because and like I said, if you get these things stuck in the sand, you got to get out, you got to dig it out, and you're going to be in the South American heat.
And they're going fast, too.
Yes, they are.
No doubt about it.
And I think we will skip. I have a few videos I also wanted to share, but anyways.
I mean, and also something I noticed between both the bikes and the cars was the back of the vehicles, either one, they're just skipping around because you can't be sure what's going to happen back there. You just got to keep going forward.
That is true. That is absolutely true. Now, now here we have a great ton of superstars. Now, first of all, let us talk about the great. Oh, okay. This is a bit of an upset I've just seen. Now, there's one man, Nasser Al-Attiyah, who we quite like. He got shafted a few years ago, and we've been sympathetic for this man ever since he worked with a particular person who we'll get into detail. Apparently, he is now driving for Toyota, and his navigator is Matthew Brummel. And, of course, the other man, the Toyota, is the great South African Janeel de Villiers with his German navigator, Dirk von Zeitzwitz. And then, of course, we have the mini superstars. They are fielding a lot of vehicles today. They've got Mikko Hirvonen of Finland. And, of course, Yazid Al-Raji, who was driving a privately funded Toyota last year. Well, he is now landed a job with Mini. And, holy crap, Nani Roma is also driving for Toyota. He used to drive for Mini for several years running. And then, of course, in Peugeot, we've got a huge line of superstars. We've got Sebastian Loeb, the great rally legend. We've got Cyril Dupre, who kicked ass on motorbikes a while ago. And, of course, Papa Sainz himself, Carlos Sainz El Matador.
Senior.
Indeed.
Oh, man.
But, of course, heading the Peugeot is none other than the legend himself, Stefan Paterhansel. Stefan Paterhansel.
Oh, my goodness.
That was me. That was completely me. I
tell.
recorded myself 4 times and doubled it, and then I changed the pitch.
Here, that's beautiful.
It's not quite Blazing Saddles, but let me tell you how awesome this man, Stefan Paterhansel, is. They call him Mr. Dakar. He has 11 overall wins in the Dakar and a total of 68 stage wins. He is not a young man.
How many years has he been running this?
Oh, for quite a while. Well, the quick summary from Wikipedia, he was in the motorcycle category, and he won in... Oh my God, he made his debut in 88 on motorcycles for Yamaha, and he won, and he was overall winner in 91, 92, 93, 95, 97, and 98, and then he switched to cars in 99, driving for Mitsubishi when they were still active in this event, and he won in 2004, 2005, 2007, and then he took his 11th victory in 2013 with the X-Rayed Mini Team. And then he took another win last year with Peugeot.
Jeez.
I mean,
what a man.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, these guys are tough. Now, the best drivers and riders, they are out for maybe 10 hours. That's the time they clock on the special stages. Because I forgot to mention, the way a stage in Dakar works is it's divided into two parts. The special, which is the bit of it that's actually timed, that is when you go all out, full power. And then there's the transport, where you just be sensible. Because that is basically what you get from point A to point B. That is not time, but that's part of the route. And thing is, you have a deadline to meet. But, of course, so therefore, if you trash yourself during a transport, it does happen. That sometimes does happen. They do trash during a transport stage because they have to get to the next point before the deadline. You know, they got to get there before the special, before they declare an end to the special, and then that means you're out of the Dakar. And basically the rule is, I believe that the rule is that if you can get your vehicle to the bivouac, you are still in. If you can fix it and you're out again, you're all right. And of course, like I said, Stefan Paterhansel is the man. And I just realized on the Dakar website they actually have a countdown. 25 days, 6 hours, 13 minutes, and 19 seconds until Dakar commences, because it starts on January the 1st.
Talk about 25 days of Christmas. We got 25 days to wait till Dakar starts.
Indeed, and you can... Alright, so anyways, now, we have some sad news about the cars. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to announce the end of an era. Ladies and gentlemen, it would appear that one of the great greats of the Dakar decided to not return. It is, oh, who the hell am I kidding? Robbie Gordon is out, ladies and gentlemen. Robbie Gordon is no more. He has quit the pull in the towel. We will not miss Robbie the Jamroll Gordon.
Now tell me, so what is so bad about Robbie the Jamroll Gordon?
Okay, first of all, let us be clear. When he started doing Dakar, he had a sponsorship from Hummer.
Okay. Oh.
Yes, Hummer, but of course it was a heavily modified thing. It was basically he took a Baja trophy truck, made the chassis out of carbon fiber, put a V8 in it, and then he got a Hummer sponsorship. Now his teammate a while ago was Nasser Al-Attiyah. I believe that was for the I think that was the 2013 Dakar. Yeah, the 2012 Dakar. He had Nasser Al-Attiyah as a teammate, so therefore he had two vehicles. Well, Nasser's vehicle kept breaking down. No fault of Nasser Al-Attiyah himself. And Robbie Gordon was being such a petulant butthole, having to tow the guy all the time. He was not happy. So therefore, the next year, Nasser Al-Attiyah got a contract with the Red Bull Buggies, and Robbie Gordon's response was, well, I wish him all the best of luck in the world, and I wish him a safe journey when he leaves on the second day. Well, Robbie Gordon, he trashed his Hummer twice. Well, first of all, he got stuck on the hill. And, of course, I think by this point, Hummer was a defunct brand. But he was keeping the brand. Just identifies what kind of a jamroll this man is. First day, he got stuck on top of a dune, had to dig out. And there was a 3 times time multiplier on the first stage. So that cost him dearly. Then he went over a hill, nosedived, rolled it. And he was blaming the car still. Well, Nasser Al-Attiyah was doing pretty well. He was kicking ass until his buggy just completely broke down, but close to the end, which is a shame. And then, of course, the following year, Robbie Gordon kept on complaining.
Oh, he's a complainer, huh?
Yes. And apparently, because he decided to run a carbureted engine, his car didn't work correctly at high altitude.
Why'd you run a carbureted engine? Well, what year was this?
This was 2013 by the time, I think. Yeah, and then 2014. Well, maybe I'm not quite sure. I'm a bit hazy on the dates. I have the articles on Wikipedia, but they're not telling me much. Okay. But here's the thing: last year, I think he realized, you know what? Maybe he should abandon the Hummer brand, because how they are defunct.
Has been for a while.
And you know what he called his car?
What?
Gordini. I mean, like, how much of a pretentious douche is that?
Ego the size of his truck.
Well, indeed. Now let me just quickly see if I. Okay, let me see. Gordini. I just want this man to see this thing so he understands what it looks like. So, no. That's not it.
That's like a classic car.
Gordini. Robbie Gordon. There we go. That's Yep, here it is. So this is
face on it.
His Gordini. This is the Gordini.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's orange. It's
bright orange.
The color of speed energy. And here's an image of the man himself. Well, I need to get a better image. Like I said, he just looks like an awful person. In fact, he alienates himself in just about every discipline he participates in. NASCAR, IndyCar, Baja. He alienates himself at every possible way. I mean, nobody likes this man at all. And yeah, I mean, look at him. He's just got the smile of a wanker. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's like I said, the reason I call him a jamroll is because 1, he behaves in a manner befitting of a certain orifice of the body, and 2, he looks like a jamroll. All right, so now let's get on to the next part, ladies and gentlemen. Trucks, big trucks.
Let's see.
So first of all, like I said, this is the most expensive class. Now, they have 3 occupants in the cab: the driver, the navigator, and the racing engineer, who is changing the tire pressures and suspension stiffness in all parts of the truck simultaneously. And these things are huge. So what they've done was they've taken basically taken the body of a work truck, stripped it down, put a ludicrous engine. So these things produce maybe like up to 1,000 horsepower, 4-wheel drive. Oh, and there was a very tragic moment last year. I forget who it was, but what happened was that his truck went off into the bush. They were a bit stuck, but the brakes were so hot it caused the shrub to catch fire. They had to abandon the truck, and the whole thing just went up. I mean, how big are these?
These are big trucks. Like, when you think truck, you think pickup truck. No, this is truck as in like large truck, as in like one of those Isuzu trucks lifted like a giant garbage truck.
Yes, exactly. They are racing garbage trucks out in the desert. It is awesome. I mean, there's just something bizarrely noble about seeing these vehicles out there. I mean,
ridiculous.
No, it's absolutely
passing
amazing.
Cars uphill.
The passing cars on hills, and I mean, like I said, this is absolutely astounding. Now we do have I'm not gonna bother with the thing from Iveco because it's fifth. There was a video from Fifth Gear I was thought about playing, but you know what? I just can't be bothered because oh no, you know what? Screw it. This is Gerard Deroy. He's awesome. So this is from Fifth Gear, which is ITV's knockoff of Top Gear.
Unlikely home of some of the most awe-inspiring machines.
So here we are in
motorsport.
Ivanhoe. So get where sorry.
It's as powerful as a modern-day F1 car.
Or
It'll drive
actually,
across pretty much anything that you pointed at. And it lives in the building right behind me. You've got to see this.
Here it is, the Iveco that won the truck class at the 2012 Dakar Rally, a grueling 8,000 kilometre
These things
desert rally
drift,
that's
ladies and
regarded
gentlemen.
as one of the toughest events in motorsport. It produces 900 horsepower, 2,600 pounds-feet of torque. It can do nearly 100 miles an hour on sand, and it's owned by Dakar champion Gerard Deroy.
So it's kind of a truck, or is it completely a truck? Tell me how much of it is a truck.
We use the main components of the trucks, the cab, the engine, the chassis, the tires, but we make it as a race truck.
Is there a set wheelbase and a set weight that Dakar trucks have to follow?
The wheelbase is not fixed. The only thing that is fixed is standard components. The weight is minimum 8,500 kilos.
8.5 tons, right?
Yeah, you can have the engine,
Yeah.
you can do the mapping of the electronics, and you can do the turbo a little bit. You can modify it, and the rest needs to be standard. We only carry 2 tires and equipment to change the tire.
But these are quite vital in the Dakar, isn't it? You get through quite a lot of tyres.
Last year we used 75 tires.
75?
70 to 75 tires?
So,
yes.
Seriously? I thought you were going to say something like 10.
Now these
But it's not
factory
just the
Dakar
military-grade
teams are
tyres that will
absolutely
face the ferocity.
these teams are loaded because
70 to 75 tires.
now here's the thing, like these
In a
trucks,
week, or
these
a little
trucks,
more, but-
all of these trucks are professional teams. Like they're no amateurs. These are backed by the factories. You've got Iveco, you've got MAN, you've got Kamaz from Russia. I mean, like I said, this is a huge undertaking. So for every truck they field, and these teams usually field maybe 3 trucks in the race, they have like 3 additional per truck to maintain it. And in fact, the teams in the cars and the bikes, like the loaded ones, have their full maintenance vehicles as well. Like there's a lot of them. And of course, it all forms a big giant moving city that they call the Bivouac. Now let us take a look at the roster. First of all, we've got our man driving the Iveco, Gerard Deroy, along with his navigator and engineer, Moises Tarragona from Spain, and Derek Rodewald from I think that's Austria. I don't reckon. Yeah, I think it's the Austrian flag. And then of course they also have the other team to beat is for the famous Red Bull Kamaz team from Russia. So you've got Arya Mordiev in one of those vehicles, and then you've got Edward Nikolaev in the other, and then of course you've got the Tatra team of Ale Lepre, Hans Stacy, who looks like an old man, and there are approximately. Oh, they're not actually telling me. They're telling me the competitor's number. Okay, basically it's no, that's easy. There are 59 trucks participating. I'm gonna assume maybe half of them will make it, maybe even less. But I forgot to mention in the cars class, you have going from no, that's bikes. Did I just close down my car window? I think I. Oh no, never mind. No, I have to get these numbers. All right, so 300 to. There are 93 cars taking part in this year's Dakar.
Okay.
And so that is our competitive field.
That's cool.
And there are also 2 other classes I should probably mention. There's the quads.
Oh.
I don't give a damn about the quads. I think the quads are silly, personally.
Well, they're fun to drive.
They're fun, but I don't know. When you have proper motorbikes out there, I think it just no, I don't think it really does
Defeats the
anything.
purpose. I got.
Yeah, it does. But however,
They're harder to navigate than dirt bike. They're more cumbersome.
Yeah, and again, like they're the same as bikes in terms of it's just one man maintaining the thing and doing his own navigating. Now of course, what the man we'll be looking out for is Ignacio Casale. He's usually pretty strong. In fact, I remember last year when he crossed the final stage and he was told that he was the overall winner in the quad class. He was just so taken up and bent out of shape, like he cried on sight. It was so amazing. But in the background, there was a man who was taking pictures of it. And he was, let's just say, he was very, very excited by the victory that a cactus was right in front of his crotch area.
So there's a good crotch cactus picture.
Yeah, well, like I took a photo of it, but that was on my on an SD card that died, unfortunately.
Oh, you
But
took that picture?
I took a photograph off the TV
Oh,
screen because it was just so amazing. Like,
That's funny.
There's a man in the background who's very, very excited at the victory.
That's funny. That's funny.
All right, now let us do a quick recap for the years. Now, all right, let me just give you some perspective. The 2013 Dakar. No, 2012 is not giving me that information. Where is it? Yeah, Wikipedia is not very consistent in their events listing. Like they actually had
funded by people.
Oh, here we go. Last year's No, that was the 2016. Yeah. Last year's Dakar, you had a total of 354 crews at the start. 215 finished.
Wow.
That is how much it is. That's that's what the attrition rate is like at this bling. In fact, it got so bad that they actually did have to terminate the first stage, partly because because it got rained out. Now, strictly speaking, rain or shine, they will race. You know,
But it was really bad.
it was really bad. It was flooded that they basically said, okay, we're terminating the
They're
first
like,
stage.
yeah, this is not safe. This is not doable.
Not safe, not doable indeed. Now, here are some of the things they will face. First of all, there are the elements. They're going to be out in South America. It's going to be really, really hot in the days, but it's going to be really, really cold at the night. In fact, so cold that you may suffer from hypothermia. I mean, the riders are going to be out there in their full racing leathers. They're going to have neck restraints, and they're going to be transporting water on their back and on the base of their bike, and they're going to have to be hulling these bikes around. If they drop it, they got to pick it up. In fact, I think it was, oh, God, who was it last year? Somebody dropped their bike, and the left handlebar snapped off.
Jeez.
And here's what happened. He actually managed to drive it back to the bivouac.
With one handle.
Well, the thing is, you need that on a motorbike. Your right hand twist your right hand for the
Correct.
throttle, and then extend your fingers out for the brake.
Oh, and the left one has the brake as the clutch.
Yeah, the left one is the clutch. And so what happened was that this guy was driving back because even though the handlebar snapped off, the clutch line was still connected.
So he had to use the clutch like that.
So he looked like a Napoleonic cavalryman. You know, like he was driving at high speed, but he had
His
the
his
clutch
left
lever
side.
just resting on his left knee, so he was standing tall with this thing.
Oh my goodness.
And then there was also, like I said, these vehicles get so hot that if you drop it into a dry shrub, it could catch fire. In fact, that's what we saw a couple of years back. A man he's sitting on his rear crying as his bike is in flames right next to him.
shame.
I mean, these are grown men, these are tough men, and they cry. That shows they are devoted and passionate. And then, of course, last year, they introduced something interesting. What they did was they went to these salt flats, and they actually started everybody abreast, because usually in events like this, they let the drivers off one at a time.
Yeah.
Sequence them up. Well, what happened was that it took place on these salt flats. It had rained the previous night. So therefore, you got all these guys traveling at high speeds at the crack of dawn, freezing air, freezing water, and of course the water has a high salt content. So that means that after they almost freeze from hypothermia, getting freezing water on them driving, they pulled over onto the tent, and they actually had to degunk all of the solidified salt that had developed on the bikes. And of course, and then you also have the cars. I mean, if you're in a car, you're getting thrown around in here. In fact, Top Gear magazine did an interesting expose
Ooh.
with the man Stefan Patterhansel. Stefan Patterhansel.
Oh my goodness.
And one thing that the reporter noted was there's padding on the wheel. There's a lot of padding on the steering wheel. And the steering wheel is probably like maybe a foot and a half away from you, because it's actually right club in your face, like, because you are wrestling this thing. And he thought to himself, okay, I have this wheel here, and I'm basically tied in with this multi-point racing harness. Like, there's no way my head could stretch all the way down to the wheel.
Oh boy.
It did.
Of course.
His head could stretch all the way to the steering wheel. And if you're in the trucks, it's even worse. In fact, from the interview that we were playing, Gerard Deroy said that twice he basically took a jump too fast in the big truck, and it snapped his back. So twice he snapped his back sitting in a truck. You are getting thrashed inside these things.
Ouch.
Now, like I said, the best guys, when they do a special, it's usually 10 hours out on a special stage time. Those are the best ones, the top 10s. If you're somewhere low, there are horror stories of these bikers who they start out in the morning, they do not make it in until like past midnight. They don't have any time to sleep because they got to get rolling again to get to the start of the next special.
Jeez.
This is not for the faint of heart, ladies and gentlemen, and people do die at this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can tune into NBCSN for daily half-hour updates. They produce them very, very fast. You know, the little half-hour updates will give you a quick briefer on progress of everybody, and we will have and when we get back, I will let you know what is the outcome. Or you can also check the official YouTube channel of Dakar, and you will get daily updates in each class from a lady with a very, very, very outrageously thick French accent. So, like I said, that is the Dakar. So, anyways, now so we have a few more minutes before we go off the air. Now, I just want to say there's an interesting story. First of all, yes, the Nico Rosberg is retiring.
I can't believe it.
Neither can I.
He worked so hard. I mean, the thing is, it did pay off. It
paid off, and I think he decided, you know what, I've finally got my World Championship title. I'm not going to have to put up with Lewis Hamilton's crap anymore, so he's decided to leave. And plus, he's got a kid at home as well.
Oh, I can't blame him then.
Yeah, it's time to retire to sunny Monaco. What a better place to raise a kid than Monaco, am I right? So, anyways, now there are rumors coming out of the Mercedes pits. There was a rumor that Max Verstappen could be a driver, but Red Bull are not going to let him go. They're going to retain him as much as they can. I think they've put on an exorbitant contract termination fee, so he's not going anywhere. There is rumor. Toto Wolff said that he might want to have Fernando Alonso on his team, but I think that would be a mistake because Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton worked at McLaren together one year. And there was an infamous moment. I forget which race it was at, where Fernando Alonso, where the two cars were going to go into the pits, one after the other. Now, you know how quick a Formula 1 pit stop is.
Yes.
Alonso pulled in, tires off, tires on, car down, ready to go, but he didn't go anywhere. And then he saw Hamilton park behind him, and a second later, he went off. He was playing mind games with Lewis Hamilton. Keep the little runt in his place, is what he was trying to do. Yeah. Anyways, and the final bit of news. Turns out that, actually 2 bits. First of all, turns out that in 2018, we are expecting France to be back on the Formula 1 calendar.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
They're going to go to the Circuit Paul Ricard in Marseille.
Is that a road track?
No, it's not a street track. It's not a street circuit.
From
No, it's a proper place where they used to do some testing.
Nice.
And here's the thing. This is Marseille. Now, there's been some things recently I've learned about my journalism class of these ultra-violent football riots. I'm not sure what is going to happen now.
What?
Ultra-violent football riots. People chucking flares onto the grass.
Goodness
riot
gracious.
police having to deal with with fans outside of the stadium. It is a nightmare. So who knows what will happen. And then finally turns out that the World Endurance Championship has decided to delay their preseason test by 1 week. Because apparently it was going to conflict with a visit from the Pope.
Oh, geez.
But here's the thing. Now, they decided to do that because they didn't want people to complain about not being able to get a hotel to see the test.
Yeah.
But I think they should have kept it where it was. Give the Pope a ride in the Porsche 919. Or at least have a parade of all the cars headed by the Pope-mobile.
That would be very cool.
It would have added a new definition to the word Godspeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 5:57. I think it is, as we do our final show before Christmas, I think it is time to have a little special celebration with our good friend John Cleese. And oh, look, here he is. It's John Cleese, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my gosh! Hey, how you doing?
Come in here, Mr. Cleese.
How you doing?
How are you doing? So what are you up for, Mr. Cleese?
Right, let's have a ding dong.
Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily the sky. Sing Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Thank you. I'll kick it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we really should have had something prepped. Oh, just pull the radio DJ up and press play. Doesn't matter what's there, just press play.
Love this song. Enjoy, guys.